Hi, so today we're gonna do a different kind of project, which is the other side of Sweet Cheeks, which is candles. And since Mother's Day is coming up, I have a really cool project. So, which brings me into something about me. I have a little passion for thrift shopping. I love it. I even found this really cute dress, and it matches the branding, some of the packaging that I'm working on right now for Sweet Cheeks. So it's so cute for markets. And Temu has really cute aprons. I don't know, I'm really just falling in love with that app. And they're like pink and ruffly, and I'm gonna vinyl Sweet Cheeks on the front for me and my helpers. And so I'm so excited. Anyway, got off track. Candles we're gonna be making. I already made one. Is this beautiful Lily Pulitzer? Oh, it's upside down. You don't know Lily Pulitzer? She's expensive, okay? And I love the fun prints. And it has this gold handle. These are for, I have mom and stepmom making them. It's okay to put it on video because I have other surprises, so I'm good with that. Anyway, and I already showed my mom. I was too excited because this is my first of this kind of candle with this topper. I just got this mold to do that, and I love it. And so I had to show my mom. We share our projects, so I have other surprises, but this one's yours, Mom. Anyway, it is with the Gardenia scent that I made those soaps with. You don't have to worry about a scent, fast moving, and a wax. It doesn't have that reaction like it does with lye and oils. So we no problems at all. Absolutely stunning. I purposefully, because it does have some brass on the inside from the Lilly stamp, I purposefully wicked down. Because it's a 4-inch jar or mug. With wicks, I would have used 2 medium and spaced them about 1.5 inches apart. However, I don't want this burning close to the edge, okay? So it may tunnel, and I'll let her know. But what should it happen is I used a large CD wick. It should melt pull. I did test a little bit, and it looked perfect. So are on Amazon for $21 a piece. I have been finding them because they were a part of that FabFitFun box a while ago. This style, I have been finding them at Goodwill, and pretty good pricing. Not gonna say what. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started making our Mother's Day Gardenia Lily Pulitzer beautiful peony candles. All right, okay, so here we are. We're going to make another one of these. I already sprayed down the coffee mug with rubbing alcohol, let that dry, and set the wick. And these are my wick setters. The reason I have straws taped to them is they're not long enough, the little popsicle sticks. I probably should invest in some better ones, but this works, and I don't want to spend the money on it. So there's that. Okay, I'm not gonna pour that candle quite yet. I'm gonna work on the topper. And the topper is using this gorgeous 3D peony mold. I picked this up on Amazon. I will link it down below. It's very popular in the candle making world right now. I see tons of ideas. You could do so much with this mold. You could even like do layers of different colored dyes and stuff. It's really pretty. So what I have here is the Dollar Tree measuring cups. I love to use them. I'm using American Soy Organics Freedom Pillar Wax. These are beads. They are wonderful and microwavable. I don't have to boil them down. I use pillar wax for anything that has like a 3D sculpture. It's just a little firmer than the actual soy. Right here's some soy wax. I use the green bag for that. So let me go ahead and nuke this in the microwave. I've used about, I would say 4 ounces. Okay, so we have this liquefied. Let's check the temperature. 295. We need to let this sucker cool. It needs to be below 180 before I add dyes and colorant, dyes and fragrance fragrance. I'm using the same white gardenia flowers from Arizona Soap Supply that I used for those wedding soaps. I had some left over, plus I think it really fit with this peony. It just smells so elegant. I love it. Well, that's cooling. I'm gonna explain this bucket of blue wax. Okay, I have made candles for years, but I've only, if I did a dyed candle, I usually try to leave the candle part white and maybe do some decorative stuff at the top. But I've been experimenting more with color, and I've used the candle color chips dyes before, but it has a little bit of wax in it. So I have the experience with melting those down, but I have never used the liquid dyes. So I'm going to try to use them more. And the candle dyes that I use are from Hobby Lobby. I went and just picked up all the colors they had. They're $4 a thing, but they don't give a dropper. And I have one that had a dropper. So I used just the I think up to the first line, thinking, okay, that's enough, or you know. No, my project turned like this dark, almost black. So I added more wax to tone it down so I didn't waste anything. So I just knew I was going to do a blue candle for this project. So I figured if it's not fragrance and it is blue, let's just use it for that. So that's why I have excess blue wax. But for the topper, we're going to offset it because the colors in the mug are like a royal blue, a navy blue, aqua, purple. It's just so pretty, the colors. So I kind of want to pull them out in my wax. So I'm going to use this turquoise dye that I picked up at, this one's Michael's. But I'm only going to use, not the dropper. These are big no for me. I learned a trick. When you are dyeing, color dyeing the wax, use just the tip of a bamboo stick or something like that, and then drop the wax in little by little till you get your desired color. That's safer. I always use bamboo sticks to do my stirring because you can just toss them. Okay, while I melt the actual candle part wax down, because it was a big chunk, I'm finding that I have to do 40-second increments a lot more to melt that down. That's okay, but in the meantime, the topper wax is down to 179. So let's go ahead and add in our fragrance and do a really good stir. I would say 2 minutes at least. You want to get that, you know, with the heat, the chemical reactions. This is still a very warm wax. It's 180 degrees. Oh, sorry about the microwave. Oh, and I apologize for the air conditioning going. It's becoming that time in season of Arizona where you don't turn your air conditioner off for anybody or anything. So, sorry, not sorry, but it's staying on. Oh my gosh, I can just, wow, that smell. So, it is looking amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and look at this colored dye. Be careful if you prefer wearing gloves because you don't want dyed hands. Do so, because this stuff is strong. Protect your counters. Watch for splashes. You know, you don't want to have something you can't get off your counter. That would frustrate me. So again, just the tip. It didn't do too much. Let's go ahead and add a little more. I just say use caution. And since the actual base of the candle is like a royal blue, a light royal blue, I think I'm going to pull in the turquoise in this, so that's why I use turquoise color, but I wanted a real light baby blue type almost. Oh, it's so gorgeous. It's like the color of my mat would be perfect. That's a good color example. So just the tip each time. You don't want to go ahead and overdo it. You want to proceed with caution. So it is a very light blue. I think I'm going to go just one step further. All right, we're at pourability time. Let's go. Take that stick out and pour. Okay, I'm gonna do like just a little bit. And then because it is such a detailed mold, you don't have to do this. I just like to, you know, pound it down, move it around, make sure it just gets in those cracks good. And then we'll pull the rest. Oh my gosh, that color is so beautiful. It really does match the mug. We're gonna leave that go. I'm not gonna pick it up and jeopardize. I'm very clumsy. So let's get back to the actual candle part. That took about 4 bursts of 40 seconds. So let's check the temp. 214, too hot. Remember, we only pour it 180 or below, but we're gonna go ahead and stir that up. 180, perfect. Okay, so we already have our dye in there because that was already in when we melted it. I just need to add the fragrance. Stirring. Like I said, the more you stir, the more that fragrance will integrate with that wax. The better your wax scent throw, which is called in candle chandler terms. So when you're a candle maker, you're a chandler. In chandler terms, when it smells, how it smells when it's burning is called a hot throw. And how it smells when it's unlit is a cold throw. So that if you really stir good, like 2 minutes at least, with that fragrance at the right timing with the chemistry, it's a better hot throw for your burn. It just integrates better with that wax. It's ready to pour. I pour slowly, you don't want splashes of wax. So let's pour this baby. Okay, that's as high as I'm going. I'm leaving about a 1/2 inch from the top to hold this. I don't want it scouring over the mug, just a little bit to show on both of these. The candle part needs to harden. I would let this candle harden overnight just because, and here's another example of this rose or this peony. If you set this on here and you don't know if it's completely cured here or down below, it could avalanche and create dents or even fall in. So we don't want that. Okay. So the peony is hardened, but I'm going to use gloves just because I don't want my oils from my skin and lotions or perfumes on my scented candle. These 3D molds, the flowers have layers and little things that come out. And I don't know anyone that can get these out perfectly, and there's a way to fix them if they do break a little bit. I'm really gentle. So I'm just pulling away the wax from the mold or the mold from the wax, and I'm going to flip it and press as I flip. See how that works. I can hear it snapping. Oh my gosh, there's very minimal little pieces from the edge. That's pretty cool. Wow, love it. So how we get these attached to the candle is we're going to puncture a wick hole using this wicking tool. I picked up a pack of 3 on Amazon. I'll link it below. What I find is that when I do this to prepare it for our candle, to put it through the wick, is I do it almost immediately out of the mold. As it hardens, it gets harder to push, and you could break this and split it all different ways, and then you have to start from scratch. So I like to take a lighter and heat it up and go in from the top. I'm just gonna estimate the middle. It can move around a bit, and I'm pretty good at it. I usually do it the same spot on this one, and just slowly push and turn. And turn. Just go slow. And if you start it feeling, you can almost feel it when it's going to crack. Pull back, heat up. So if it starts making a cracking noise, that wax is cracking and you're gonna have a mess and have to start over. So slower is better. I feel it hit my mat. So it went all the way through, and you can see. And then what I do is take it out slowly and go from the other side, but leaving it in my hand so these little petals are protected. There's probably a better way, maybe put it on a towel or something too. Let me heat it up. It's better hot. It goes in smoother. I find when it's a dry push with this thing, I crack it. So here we go. It just went in smoothly, and I'm just gonna try to push in just a little bit of the thickness of the tool, just because we are using a pretty thick wick. We're using the large size. Oh, and these wicks I picked up in a pack at Michael's large size. In their candle making section, I use the rope, the corded, it's the thickest they have. Now, if it was something that I was doing for my business, I would have a standardized size, but because these are different size than I usually work with, I picked them up at Michael's. They work great. I've tested them out really well. Okay, so the candle's actually done. It's at room temperature. I can feel it's hard. We can take this off. We're good. Now, I don't need to, I mean, you could. We can do this. You can either trim it closer or just fish it through. I find that if you fish it through, it gets used to being in the wick and it just goes down smoother towards the end. And it's just a labor of love here. Patience is the key. Don't try to rush this or you're gonna break your wax, okay? So all I'm doing is putting it on there. What I'm gonna do is just center it, make sure I have a good spot, clean up anything. Here's a flake. Okay. Okay, so how we attach this, obviously it's just sitting on there. First, I'm gonna trim my wick so I don't have to worry about lifting it up and stuff, just at least a little closer. I'm using my sewing scissors. This is a thick it's a thick wick. So my wick cutter for this type of thickness just doesn't cut it. So I used my sewing scissors. What I'm gonna do now is get my heat tool plugged in. If you don't have a heat tool, I'm not sure if a blow dryer would give that much meltness. You could try. I know Temu has them for under $10. You could probably get a Harbor Freight and get them pretty cheap. So we size that. Now I'm just gonna lift it up. I don't have to pull it fully out. To be careful, these petals are very delicate. Actually, let's just take it out. It's probably easier to show you if I just took it all the way out. I just combine steps when I'm sizing it and putting it on. But okay, so what we're gonna do is create a melt pool, a light melt pool, very, very thin layer light pool, and then heat up the bottom of this, put it down in the wick, and it'll harden and stay as one candle. Okay. Okay, if you see the wick at the top, we're just gonna push down, center it, and put a tiny, tiny little bit of pressure on one of the bigger, more solid petals, just to lay that in there. Okay, now we saw one little petal fall off. Honestly, when I'm looking at it, it doesn't look bad. So I actually prefer it not being on there than trying to glue it. And how I would do that is either heating up your tool, and your little wick tool, because it's hot, it will melt the delicate pieces, or your heat tool and press it on there. I'm not playing with that. So what we're gonna do is just clean up the edge with the heat gun, and it looks natural. This is where the flower petal chopped off. We're just gonna run it over it. It looks a little melted at first. Okay. And there we have our Lily Pulitzer mug with a Gardenia Peony candle. And I absolutely adore it. It smells amazing. We're gonna let that set in probably a few days to just fully harden, then we'll trim the wick and package it up for Mother's Day. I really hope you enjoy watching me make this Mother's Day gift. It's really special to me, and thank you for your support. And I would love to hear what you're doing for Mother's Day this year. Have a wonderful day. Bye.